Andi Purewal, Boxing Social, in association with Betfred. I'm joined by promoter Frank Warren here in London. Frank, it's been a while. Firstly, how are you?
I'm fine, Andy. How are you?
I'm good. Obviously, we're here. Joyce, Hammer. Talk about this fight, Frank. Obviously, not the one that you wanted, but we're here now.
Well, it's the one that we got. You know, the fact is, it was always. We was hoping this fight was going to be Parker, but he couldn't fight because his trainer's wife was having a baby, and then we pushed it back to September. So Joe's coming off of a broken wrist, and we had to get him out in action. And we've got a tough opponent for him, and he's obviously, you know, this injury's not good, and being out of action for over a year, and only having 13 pro fights, you know, he's going to have his hands full.
What challenges does Christian Hammer pose to Joe on Saturday night?
He can punch. He can punch, and you know, he's a strong man. He just went the distance with the Cuban, undefeated Cuban, ranked number 3 by the WBA. He just went the distance with him and took it at short notice.
The Joe Parker situation, Frank, how frustrating was that for yourselves?
Just wasted everybody's time. It's just a, you know, do you know what? I can give a shit about Joe Parker and all that bullshit. It's a dead issue for us.
I know you've just said it's a dead issue. I did ask Adam Morley about it earlier, and he said that maybe later in the year it can still be revisited, but it seems like it would only be able to happen on your platform, on BT, and the Sky offer just couldn't come to fruition unless somehow purse bids came into play.
Purse bid for what?
If obviously some form of an eliminator or what have you were to be called.
What's he want to eliminate for? He's ranked number 1. He's the mandatory.
So I take it when Ben Shalom put out the 1.2 million offer, that would have...
What Ben Shalom put out. Ben Shalom signed a fighter, now let him deliver to Parker. Let him deliver something to him.
That's fair enough, Frank. Just kind of go through the card as well. Jason Cunningham, Zolani Tete.
Good fight. You know, 2 road warriors. I mean, Zolani's done it the hard way. He's travelled. I mean, people know him over here for a spectacular knockout that he inflicted on Paul Butler. He's all his fights have basically been on the road, and he's a 2-time world champion. His record speaks for himself. And you got Jason, who's always been the opponent, who's turned himself into being the A side of a card, and he's worked really hard, and he's done it the hard way. I mean, a real hard way. He's done it the hard way, and to be quite honest, I think it's a tough fight for both of them. It's going to be quite interesting. I'm really looking forward to it.
Just a few quick ones to ask you about. Tommy Fury being denied entry to the US for that Jake Paul press conference that should have taken place on Wednesday. What's your understanding of the situation? Does that fight still go ahead on August 6th?
He's got to go to the embassy to sort out his ESTA.
Are you confident August 6th can still go ahead?
Well, if he gets his ESTA.
Jake Paul said that for it to happen over here, he'd take a £15 million offer. Just get your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
I don't imagine 15 mil could be kind of just brought up for that fight, but would you look to speak to BT to try and tempt some form of money? Not necessarily 15, but just kind of a bigger offer to try and get that over here if it couldn't take place in the US?
No.
Just a couple of quick ones, sorry Frank, just a couple of quick ones. Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk had their press conference yesterday. Yep. What do you make on the broadcaster for it? Nothing announced yet, but obviously he signed his deal with DAZN, and it seems like the fight could still end up on Sky. What do you make of that entire situation?
Where is he? Out there? They're out there at the moment, the promoters of the event, out there looking for the best deal. I don't think it's even so much financially, it's the best deal that would give them the most exposure. That's what they bought it for. You know, Saudi Arabia, they have become a big destination for massive events, and they want to, show the world what they're about. And the only way you can do that is by paying a premium, which they've done, and the boxers have accepted it, so they've got paid. And their side of the deal, the Saudi Arabians, are that they want a maximum amount of people to watch it.
We saw Joe Markovsky's, this will be the final one, we saw Joe Markovsky's comments that they're not necessarily happy with Eddie's kind of back and forth with other promoters and not kind of trying to work with them, more so giving him a bit of a slap on the wrist. I don't suppose you've had any kind of conversation with BT of a similar form?
No, I understand with that Joe. That Joe's got it wrong. What's his name? Joe Markovsky?
Joe Markovsky.
Joe Markovsky. He's got it wrong, though. Should we slap him around the back of the head?
Frank, we'll leave that there now. Thank you.
You're welcome.